Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming in, whether you're here live with me right now or you're checking this video out later. Either way, it's going to be a podcast that I'm going to start, I guess, right now. This will be the very first episode, and I'm going to have different topics. One of the things I'm going to talk about today is, how I used to coach. I coached basketball for 25 years at high school level. And so I love those days, but I kind of, miss those days. But also, I don't think I could ever do it again. I think um, after you've coached so many years, you get to a point where you just kind of know you're done. So I had some great years, some great experiences. So that's one thing I was going to talk about, and then how that coaching kind of relates to YouTube for me. I mean, that's where I get my inspiration to or my motivation. That's where you got to go back to your experiences to see what you can do on YouTube. So when I've been thinking about that recently, as you get older, you start thinking back about things, and now I'm going on this new YouTube journey and how that has affected me. So um, it's been a cool journey, and the here recently, one thing I started thinking about was, Bobby Knight died recently, and Bobby Knight had a big influence on my coaching. Um, when I first started, yeah, I had a temper, and you know, probably I was young. And there's Matthew Cox. Yep, going live. Going to start this new series called Fireside Chats. I'm going to hope to do this once a week during the day, and we'll see how that goes. So, but one of the things um, that got me thinking was when Bobby Knight passed away, you start reflecting on your career and reflecting on how Bobby Knight had an impact on who I was as a coach. I had a high school coach that was very, let's just say, very flamboyant. I mean, he was Bobby Knight to another level. So I was, I didn't want to be just like Coach Priest, who I love, but I mean, he was tough. He was tough. I could tell you stories about, um, and maybe I'll do that on another episode. I could just talk about Coach Priest, and maybe I could bring his daughter in with me, and we can just have a fireside chat talking about her father, Coach Priest, and the impact he had on Kermit High School basketball. I graduated from Kermit High School in West Virginia, which has a very great history of basketball. And now it's Tug Valley in West Virginia, and that program's amazing too. They've won state championships and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things, going back to Bobby Knight, when I first started coaching, I would go to some of his clinics because, to me, Coach Knight and Coach Krzyzewski, everybody calls him Coach K because it's a hard name to say. Both of those guys had a big influence on my life. And then the other one that had probably the most major influence on my coaching was Don Meyer. And if you don't know who Don Meyer is, you might want to Google him. He got the ESPN award. I forget what award it was, but they did an ESPN 360 episode, so you could watch that, learn about Don Meyer. I love that man. Got to know him pretty well. But one thing, thanks for anybody that's coming in. Appreciate that. This is the very first fireside chat, and one thing I was going to talk about basically, when I think about coaching, and there's Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for coming in. When I think about coaching and how it relates to YouTube, I want to share with you something that, let's see, I'm going to share my screen, and I got to pick, I think it's this one. Let's see. Yeah, the five stages of coaching. And if you can see this, you can see, let me get back over here for a second. Can y'all see that on your screen? The 5 stages of coaching. And I'll go back to that right now. And but it's kind of like YouTube. But when I first started coaching, I was like just out of college. I mean, I graduated on December 15th, and then I started a job coaching on December the 17th. So I started teaching, and man, I didn't know anything about coaching. I knew how to play basketball. I knew about basketball, but I really didn't know a whole lot about coaching. And so, and like this says, you don't know that you don't know. Like, I thought I knew stuff, but man, I'm 23, about 24 years old, and I'm like, I don't know what I don't know. It's kind of like on YouTube. You first start putting up videos, and you don't really know what you don't know, and so it takes a while to learn different things. So the second thing is, once you kind of figure stuff out, like that first year, I coached Kermit Junior High School. I'll never forget that. Had some really good kids. I had some really good athletes. In fact, those 8th graders that were on my team ended up going to the state championship. But well, of course, by that time I was in living in Virginia and coaching in Virginia. But I went back and watched them play. Never been so proud of those guys. They come such a long way, and they overcome my pathetic coaching. So, and Lisa says yes. She says my dad dragged us around softball fields growing up. Yeah, that definitely happens. And so then the second thing about YouTube, you start striving for success. You kind of figure it out, and you're like, okay, I want to get to 500 subscribers. Actually, when I got to 100 subscribers, I was like, wow, I got 100 subscribers. That was a big deal. Then you start striving. Let's try to get to 500. Then you start trying to get to 1,000. So you're striving for success, just like you are as a young coach. So, I coached all my life. So I kind of relate this journey with YouTube, just like coaching. You want to you want people to see that, hey, I can actually make a decent YouTube video. And so, and then the next phase, and I think I'm right here right now. So I'm kind of satisfied with the videos I'm putting out. I'm kind of more relaxed, but you have to set more goals. So that's one reason I'm starting these fireside chats. So just like when I was coaching, after 2 or 3 years, and I start going to clinics, start going to watch Coach Knight practice in Indiana. I would go there, watch his practices. I go to clinics, watch other coaches. I would read constantly, trying to kind of start figuring those things out, starting to understand. And then once you get now you get to a part where you want to set bigger goals. And that's where I'm at with YouTube too. I want to start setting bigger goals. So, while we're doing this, if any of you guys have any questions at all, there's Crystal. Hey, Crystal, thanks for coming in. I was on this other screen, so I missed you. Lisa, I thought about doing Vegas food, but I feel I am late to the party, honestly. Plus, I'm rather introverted. Nah, you're never too late. I mean, uh, the one thing about YouTube is um, everybody talks about finding your niche and things like that. And there's some people that find a niche and they stick to that. Well, as you know, with my channel, I don't have a niche. I do a little whiskey. I do some Bigfoot. I travel. I love going to ghost towns. I started the whiskey talks, and now I do the. Uh, I'm going to start doing these fireside chat. There's so many things that I do. I do food vlogs, hotel reviews. I just do whatever I want to do, probably that may hurt me. I don't know, but that's what I do. And there's Ronnie C. Thanks for coming in, Ronnie. Thanks for all of y'all coming in. I'm only going to go for about maybe 30 minutes, or just we'll see how it comes in. Mostly I'm doing this as a podcast, going to let people mostly watch later and try to get their input. And so as I'm going down this list, we've talked a little bit about coaching, the 5 stages of coaching, and I think this is kind of like YouTube. First, you're trying to survive. Then you start figuring things out. So you're striving for success, trying to get to that 1,000 and beyond. And then you start becoming satisfied with what you're doing. And then the 4th thing, coaching. And it's funny how my mindset changed because, at first I'm just concerned about making those players the best they can be, trying to win games. And then you think about, are you making a difference on these kids' lives? Let's try to get some kids into college. And that's what I did. So I had several kids that actually played in college, some got scholarships, some got offers, didn't go. Some of my best players got offers and didn't go. Or they went and they came home. So you're gonna see that. So you hate that because some of those guys were really outstanding athletes. Then people want to start studying your program, figure out, what am I doing with my kids? We'd go to camps. People would come up and say, "Man, what kind of offense are you running?" And what I ran was mostly like motion offense. And then this is a great from Don Meyer. Says, then you're very apt to get fired for the wrong reasons because people get jealous. Once you figure out what you're doing, they get jealous or irritated at you because I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I never got fired, but I did leave some jobs because I was just tired of it. And I think that's, in YouTube, you want to get to that point where are you having an impact on people? Can you make a difference in the world or when you contact people? And then finally, and I hadn't got this stage in YouTube yet. Hopefully it'll be a while. There has been times where I thought about this number 5. You're spent. You have nothing left. You can't do it anymore. That's the way I finally felt with coaching, especially after my last job. I had 2 assistant coaches who I did not hire, didn't really want, had no choice, had to hire them. That both of the guys kind of wanted my job, and it was really a weird thing. And after that, I was like, I'm done with coaching. So anyway, thanks for. Hope that relates to you guys in life or whatever. But I thought that was pretty good. So. So now if anybody has any questions, we're just, anything you want to talk about, we can do that. I know there's only a handful of you here, but that's okay. Mostly I'm probably going to stay on for about 30 minutes and we'll see how it goes. I know it's during the day and I'm doing this during the day because mostly this is going to be like a podcast and people can watch it on their leisure, or maybe they won't watch it. So it may not continue at all. So we'll see. So The other thing, let's see if there's something else that we can talk about. But I mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about a video. I've already started it, but in Pocahontas, Virginia, which is it's right near Bluefield on Route 52. You turn off of Route 52 in West Virginia. And of course, Route 52 is, man, you're heading in coal mining territory in West Virginia. And the coal mining wars back in the day. So I was going to talk to you about some of the what they would call Phantom Hitchhikers. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. Crystal says that she can relate, not necessarily YouTube. I wanted to pursue YouTube. I definitely would niche down. It's one hell of a commitment. Yes, YouTube can be very, very tough. And you do have to be committed. So you have to have that. You have to have a drive to succeed. I mean, there's a whole lot of people that start YouTube, but then they don't see the growth they want to see right away. So, and then there's other people start YouTube, and their first video they get like 100,000 views. So it's just crazy how that works. They've got it figured out already. So recently I was down. I went to Pocahontas, and I took some video of the Pocahontas cemetery, and I'm gonna tell you what, that is one of the creepiest, like, seems like one of the most haunted cemeteries ever that I've been through. It's so old. Their deaths going back to 1800s, and one of the reasons they started this cemetery was in 1885. They had a big mine explosion, and it killed 114 people. So of those 114 people, they just in Pocahontas, Virginia, which is right, I mean, it's right on the West Virginia line. All these people that died, they kind of just pushed them off into one grave. And a lot of these people, they were from Hungary and Russia, Yugoslavia, Germany, a lot of Eastern European countries, and they come over here to work in the mines. And man, just think of that, 114 people died in an explosion, and they just shove them into one hole, which is crazy. And then Lisa, some see that growth and then seem to get tired of it also. That's true. Some people, I mean, you look at my buddy Alan from Las Vegas. I mean, he had a great channel. It's still up there. He still gets a lot of views. I watched a couple this past week, and just because he's so good. And but I think Alan may be coming back soon. I'm sure. I'm hoping. We'll see. And so anyway, so would you think there would be ghosts from that, where they put them all in one grave? Now, they went back later and they interred all the bodies, and somehow they got them separated into different nationalities. I don't know how they did this. It was like 15 years later. I don't know how this all went about. I'd have to do more research about that. But that there has to be some disturbed spirits on there. And then if you come on down from Pocahontas, then you get on Route 52 and you head to the West Virginia Turnpike, Route 77. It's a major interstate highway. They call it the West Virginia Turnpike. It's a toll road. And they say, and here's Leonard. Hey, I think Leonard came into one of my last videos and spoke about that. So thanks for coming in, Leonard. And he's from Christiansburg, which is about 30 minutes down the road. I go through there on my way to Bluefield. Yes, yeah, Crystal, Las Vegas and beyond. He does have a lot of talent. And there's Dave. How you doing, Dave? We're gonna have to get with Dave soon. Him and BB. We got to get down there. We're got to figure out some time, probably in the early first part of 2024. We'll try to do that. And there's Steph. Good morning, Walt. And of course, Tina's not here because you know what? Tina's got like a real job. So she's not here, but she'll watch later. And I know she'll read your comments. So she'll like that. So anyway, so if you come down from Bluefield, you hit to Princeton. And at Princeton, you get on Interstate 77. And you can go Interstate 77 to Charleston. Now, believe it or not, Route 52 and Interstate 77 there's been a lot of incidents of Phantom Hitchhikers. There's been stories where even by police officers. One time there was this little girl that was walking down the side of the road. So the police officer stopped, pulled over, spoke to the little girl, said she was lost. So he put her in the back seat, and then he was on his way to the headquarters so they could do some research, figure out where this girl is supposed to be. And lo and behold, the police officer looks back and the girl's not there. I mean, that's just crazy. And then there's another story where this, on Interstate 77, it's against the law to hitchhike on the side of an interstate highway. You're not, most places, I don't know if it's legal everywhere, but most places it's against the law. Lisa says she ever saw a ghost, she would drive faster. So, yeah. So, and I'm going to tell you a story about when I saw a ghost on Route 52. So, in just a minute. But anyway, so there's another story to this guy. So, it's against the law to hitchhike. So, I think it was a state police officer or maybe one of the local police. He sees this guy, kind of a vagrant looking guy, hitchhiking on interstate. So he pulled over, talked to the guy, and he put him in handcuffs and put him in the back of the car. Now you think about this. He put him in handcuffs, put him in the back of the car, and then starts heading to headquarters. And he looks back and the guy's not there. He thinks, he pulls over. He's like, where did this guy go? He sees nothing but the handcuffs in the floorboard. I mean, how crazy is that? That is crazy. So I guess there is a thing like, and they say the reason, if you look at this southern West Virginia, like there's been several mine incidents where people died in the mines, like the one I talked about at Pocahontas in 1885. Then there's been other mine accidents along 77 where people have passed away. And then there's been the mine wars where a lot of people died in battles between the unions and the pickers and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big history. And then the other thing is that when they built the highway, which they started construction, I believe, in the 1950s, early 1950s, and they started construction on this road from Princeton to Charleston. That's the West Virginia Turnpike. Well, in the process of doing that, they moved 2 cemeteries, at least 2. One near the Bluefield exit, actually exit 20, and then another one up around exit 74, which are very close to Charleston. And so if a lot of people say when you disturb these cemeteries, you're creating poltergeist, like the old Poltergeist movie, whether you believe in that or not. So, but there used to be stories all the time. There on exit 20, there was a like a gas station, a travel plaza. They call it the Glass House, and the people that worked there were people on the highway all the time coming by and say, hey, they think they saw this, or they think they saw somebody or something, and things happen, or I tried to pick up somebody, then they disappeared, whatever. So it's kind of crazy. So now let me tell you my story about and I'm going to put this on the video too. I went to a buddy of mine's, his mother passed away, and so I went to her funeral, and they lived up in Harps Creek. So I'm on the way home, and I was going down, I think 44, I believe the road was, and I hit 52. And I'm coming down 52, and it's pretty daggone dark. And I look ahead, and this is during the time where most of the mines were pretty much shut down. There wasn't anybody doing much of anything. And I'm driving down the road, and I see this. I look ahead, and let me tell you, these hollows and stuff, like you're driving through 52, it is dark in a lot of these places. And I can't remember if I was close to Keystone or not, somewhere in that area. And I look ahead, and I could see this guy, kind of slim built, and he just was walking down the road. He had like a lunch pail or something in his hand or something, and then he had his miner's light on his head. I mean, you could tell he was a miner. It looked like a miner as he's walking through there. And I'm like, why is he coming out here at this time of day? I didn't think anybody was working late like that. And so I just went on by, slowed down, and I looked over, and he's about right to my window, my passenger window, and that light that he had on his head, whatever, he just turns and shines it at me as I'm coming by pretty slow. And then it just disappeared. And I mean to tell you, I got shivers all over my body. I mean, it just freaked me out. And when I got to Princeton, I had to call Tina and said, you won't believe what happened. I mean, it's like, okay, maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know. But it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. So anyway, thank you guys for coming in for just to say hi. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully some more people will catch this later. And yeah, that was creepy, and it was kind of cool, that's for sure, Leonard. And I'm gonna do more of these, have some more topics, tell some little stories. Maybe eventually I might have a guest with me. And I enjoyed it. It just a little short chat. Thanks for coming in. And anybody else, if you have any other things you want to talk about, let me know, and we can do that. So yeah, you can leave a comment below, or right now, since we're still here, you can say, hey, what about blah, blah, blah. So anything. I sure will, Lisa. We will tell Tina hi. She's working. All I did today was work out at the gym and had a good workout. I can tell you about that. There's Paula. This was fun, unexpected, and cozy. Thank you, Paula, for coming in. And don't miss Paula's. I think she's going to make a turkey pot pie or a chicken pot pie, some kind of pot pie, because Durango Dell was all excited. So you might want to check that out on Wednesday for Paula. And there's Tim and Rhonda Prater. Good afternoon from Hurley, Virginia in Buchanan County. Awesome. Thanks for coming in. Crystal says she's headed to the gym right now. Awesome. That's good. Good. Tomorrow, yes. So you want to check out Paula's Kitchen tomorrow at Dale McKenzie's channel. So Paula and Dale, Las Vegas Inside Now. Or maybe it's just on Paula's Kitchen. She started a new channel. Is it just on Paula's Kitchen? So we'll watch it there. I will tell you before I leave, one thing I've been doing is I've started. Okay, she says so it's going to be on Las Vegas Inside and Out. So they're awesome, awesome. They just did a video on the Bacchanal buffet, and let me tell you what, that looked really good. That most buffets, I'm not real big because I don't ever think I could eat that much. But I could have really feasted. That there was a lot of good stuff on that buffet. I think I would have really liked that. That was cool. So one thing I was going to tell you before I leave. Ooh, have you heard? Good question from Leonard. He says, "Have you heard of the lizard man who chased the mail woman's car and left scratches in it, Marion, Virginia, early?" You know what? I have heard that story. And I thank you for sharing that, because that sounds like a video that I need to go down to Marion and check out. My brother used to live in Saltville years ago, so I will definitely go down and check that out. Thanks for that heads up, Leonard. I remember that story vaguely. Here's my routine. She said Bacchanal is great. Strangely, Wynn disappointed in October. I know, I saw that. Yeah. My routine has been like, well, this morning it was raining, so I didn't get up and walk. But when I wake up, within 5 minutes, I try to get ready and go outside and walk to get sunlight in your eyes. Don't wear sunglasses. You want to get sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning. Helps your body. Just get that sunlight as much as you can. And I'll just walk for 10 minutes. Just being outside. I'm not trying to do a power walk. I'm just walking. Sometimes I'll take some pictures or whatever. Just being outside is big. Then I'll come back and I'll just drink some water. And I will just sit there and then I get my Bible out and I'll read a chapter in the Bible. I'm on John, so I'm reading the book of John. So I read that. Just a chapter and pray, and that helps. And then on the days a little bit late, then I have coffee after that. Coffee or tea. I like tea a lot, so I drink a lot of tea. And then after that, I may go work out at the gym or something like that. So you have to find a routine once you retire. And I think that has helped me, because otherwise, once I hear Tina getting ready for work, I usually try to get up and get going. So anyway, any other stories of anything that you'd love to see me do videos on or anything like that? let me know. Otherwise, you can leave a comment down below in the description. And we're going to try to do this once a week, see how it goes, especially since I've got the fire here burning, and that makes it nice. So, well, if no one has anything else, I'm going to end this very first fireside chat. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate all of you all. So have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.